Hi guys, and welcome back to the wonderful world of The Sims 4. My name is Abby, and today we're building a kind of like a Alice in Wonderland inspired build. I don't like to say that it's like a replica of something, because I don't like doing replicas. I like to do builds that are inspired by things, and inspired by I was about to talk like Yoda for some reason. Inspired by Alice in Wonderland, this was. This was inspired by Alice in Wonderland. That was really weird. I don't know why I just did that. That's so funny. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about, somebody had written on Facebook that was like, it was like a comment on somebody else's picture, like, and this person was on a vacation like during spring break, and the person that commented said, "How fun we are." And like the way that it read was like, "How fun we are," but it really meant like, "Have fun, comma, we are." Punctuation is important. Yeah. Okay, so 50 seconds into the video and I'm already not talking about the build, but that's okay. You know, who comes to listen to me talk about the build when you're watching me do it anyway? So yeah, this was Alice in Wonderland inspired, and I asked some of my friends from school and people who I've known for a very long time about, you know, what they thought of whenever they thought of Alice in Wonderland. And most people said drugs first. That was the very first answer, which I kind of actually thought that would be one of the answers. Drugs, hallucinogens, getting high, I don't know. You know, that's what most of the answers were at first, but I was like, no, I need like something I can use for a build, some like you know, ideas or objects that are going to be helpful. And they were like, well, you know, the tea kettles and the Mad Hatter. So I used a lot of the inspiration that I got from them to help me with this build, because obviously, really, I mean, most of Alice in Wonderland takes place in different places, like, you know, at the tea party at the Mad Hatter's, which is outdoors, and at the like castle. And I'm talking about the cartoon. I know there's the newer Alice in Wonderland anyway, with Anne Hathaway and what is her name? Mia, I think is her name. She's also in Crimson Peak, so I'm doing lots of builds inspired by movies that she's done. But she's blonde-headed, and, you know, I think her name is like Mia, something that starts with a W, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, she was in like the live-action Alice in Wonderland and with Johnny Depp, who was the Mad Hatter. And then, you know, they also had a sequel, which I watched parts of it, but I wasn't really crazy about it. It was okay. It was not my favorite, though, so I've just seen bits and pieces of it. But this build, I mean, there's no house like this, really, that you can base the whole idea that I was doing here off of, because there's no house really in existence in the world of Alice in Wonderland that looks like this. It's just something that I imagined would be there. So, you know, you can tell right now there's lots of colors and lots of flowers, which, you know, so far, I mean, the flowers are going to get pretty crazy. You're going to be like, how many more flowers is she going to add? And then I add more. So, yeah, I get pretty crazy with the flowers. And I did use the ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement cheat to get the alien, what would they be called? The alien plant life, which is like the mushrooms, and there's some other items that look kind of like little blue noodles and stuff. I don't know. I used some of those, like, but the mushrooms were the most important thing that I did want to use in this build, because obviously, I mean, hello. That's the first thing I think of whenever I think of Alice in Wonderland, and that was kind of what I was hoping to get from other people, but drugs was the answer that I got, which, I mean, I should have known better. This outdoor area here is actually supposed to be like a mad tea party type setting with the different chairs and the big table. And I'm going to put a lot of like tea kettles out and little tea cakes and, yeah, lots of flowers and other little items. And then later on we'll put a tree above it, and then we'll hang some of those lights from the movie pack. I think, was it movie hangout stuff pack? I think so. I think it was from the movie hangout stuff pack. So we're going to use some of those lights and just kind of dangle them in the tree. You can't really see them until later. I mean, you can see them probably in gameplay. They look pretty cool. I also just took out some items there that I'm going to be placing around the garden things that I didn't want to forget, like the little rabbit statues, obviously because of the white rabbit. Hello. I was like, when I saw them, I was like, of course I should use these. And then there's the guy with the hat statue, and I think that those different colors actually came. Well, I think there's different color swatches for the one that comes in the base game pack, but I think those particular swatches there came with the City Living pack, because there's like a different statue. I mean, it's the same statue. It's got different hats, though. So it's like two of the same item, and one of them came with City Living, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I used that one to kind of be like a nod towards the Mad Hatter. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm doing a lot of outdoor work in this build, more so than I've ever done before. And I think it really, I mean, it makes the build. It makes it really look like Alice in Wonderland. And on the inside, I really focused more on it being really cluttered and like a dollhouse, very, it's full of very bright colors and even more plant life in there as well. So, but this is like the most I've really ever done on an outdoor build so far on the channel. Other than, I don't know, I mean, I did like the courtyards and stuff on Crimson Peak, but this is way more detailed and it means a whole lot more towards what I was actually trying to do with this build. And there are a lot of stories like in the Alice in Wonderland, like the book, that aren't really told in the movie. And I believe one of them, she's actually like on a ship and stuff. So, I mean, I did want to use the ship there in the water. It's just a statue sized up to look like it's actually a ship on the water. So I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah. I think in the game, actually, the game that I was recently playing called Alice in Madness Returns, which I ended that series just because, I mean, we got to kind of a good stopping point. It was like the first boss, and then, I mean, I continued to play it, and I did actually beat it, but, I mean, it just wasn't really, it wasn't great to record. And honestly, I just loved playing it so much that I wanted to get it done quicker. And I think I'm going to start restricting this channel to more of just the Sims videos for now. Until, you know, maybe if the channel grows a little bit more, I might start experimenting with other games. But so far, just right now, I've decided to stick more with the Sims builds and stuff like that. You know, and that might change. And, you know, you may see every now and then a video of a new game or something on here, you know, but, you know, I change my mind all the time, so, we'll see how it goes, we'll just see. And you can see here, I am actually adding a lot of plant life to the exterior build, and I did this for, like, and I mean, like, the walls is what I mean, the exterior of it. The rest of it is obviously the exterior of the build, too, but, I did this for two reasons. One, because I thought it just really added more va-va-voom, I guess, to the whole idea that we're in the wilderness here, and that this is supposed to be like in the forest, and plant life is everywhere, and, you know, it's just kind of creeped up over the sides of the house. And I also did it because the different colors on the house looked really good, but at the same time, to me, they were just really harsh. And, you know, because they all, like, didn't match really, and I thought that adding the plant life to it made it just look a lot better, which you can still see. You know, parts of the exterior of the house are different colors, and it just makes a whole lot more sense to break it up with those plants, you know, hanging on the sides. It looks a whole lot better than it did when I just had it colored different colors. Now, some people may not really like the interior of this house, and that's because, I mean, it's not very, I mean, it doesn't really match. A lot of it doesn't. And my idea was that this house would be similar to that of a dollhouse. And I think there is a house actually in the cartoon Alice in Wonderland that she goes in, and it's the one that she gets really big in it and then it explodes. And I thought about first basing the interior of this house off of that. And then I thought about going back and watching the movie or like looking up Google images of it. But, I don't know. Instead I decided to do something a little bit more fun. And, this seemed a whole lot like, you know, something that would be there anyway, you know. All of these really bright colors and, really colorful items. They look like a child would put them in a house. It's like a little kid decorated this house. And that's what I meant for it to be like. And, this wall here is actually just a wall of clocks. And I thought that would be something interesting because, I mean, time is a, important factor in the cartoon anyway, where like, the White Rabbit's talking about, I'm late for a very important date or something, yeah. It made sense to me. It looks cool anyway. So we do have a lot of flowers, clocks, mirrors around, different colored items, things that don't match, and that's what I was going for. I didn't want it to really like be matchy and actually look very good. I mean, I think it looks good, but I think it looks like a little kid decorated it, and that's what I was going for anyway. I used a lot of items that I've never used before, and I think that's actually something really good. Like, that was what I was wanting to do. Especially like items that came in the movie hangout stuff pack. I don't use those a whole lot, except for the curtains. I use the curtains like crazy. But I wanted to be able to use that, and I also used a lot of the toddler stuff pack, because, I mean, the toddler stuff does look like things that you would find in a dollhouse, and it just made a whole lot of sense to me. So, yeah, it's really cluttered in here. It's really, all the rooms are really small and cramped because of the clutter and because it's a small house. So, yeah, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. And I did check and make sure that everything worked, because everything is really a tight squeeze. So everything that you need, like, it'll work. That mirror back behind the table probably doesn't work, but that's okay because you have other mirrors upstairs, like in the bathroom and stuff. And even like, I think there was one beside the front door that probably works. So if an item doesn't work somewhere, then there is an item somewhere in the house that's the same, and it will work. The table and chairs do work. I was a little worried about them because it's a little cramped in there. I'm trying to think about everything that I made sure to, I did player test the house, and I actually made a Alice in Wonderland sim, and it's more like a modern version of Alice in Wonderland. She doesn't look like a little kid or anything. She's just kind of dressed really cutesy and in like blue clothes, and you can download her. She's also on the gallery. This is up on the gallery already. And you'll probably notice, if you do follow me on the gallery and you see my builds go up, that my builds usually go up on the gallery a few days before a video actually comes out. And that's just because I put it up on the gallery as soon as I'm done with it. That doesn't mean that I'm done recording and editing the video for it. So, I mean, anytime you see a build that goes up and then I don't have the video out yet, like if you want to go see it and you found this on the gallery, just wait a couple of days and the video will be out. Yeah, I'm slow getting stuff out sometimes, and that's because of class and because, I have a life, a little bit of one anyway. So sometimes I've just got other things that I have to get done first before I can actually get a video finished. Even though, I try to do it within reason. I think I did, I know that I did take a few days off this past week. And that's because I had some really important assignments due. We had one assignment in one of my classes, and it was like this, it was a take-home assignment, and it's going to sound like it's a super easy assignment, and it wasn't. It was like a word puzzle, and what it was we had to read this article, and then our teacher gave us this fill-in-the-blank sheet. It was like 2 pages, and it was all fill in the blank. You had to fill in the blank for this paragraph that was written, and you had a word bank, and the word bank said how many times each word was used. And then you had to put those words that are in the word bank into the paragraph. And I know that sounds like middle school work, like super easy, but it wasn't. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And all but 2 people failed that assignment. Everybody in my class failed that assignment except for 2 people. And like, we all got together and worked on this together too. So like, we went, I know several people met multiple times. I just went and met with them once. But then we like texted each other back and forth and emailed and stuff. So we were still sharing answers even though we weren't in the same place working on it. But yeah, we worked really hard on it. And then I made a 54. Yeah. So I made a pretty bad grade on it. It's pretty bad. In the end, though, he decided, since we all did really bad on it, he just scrapped the assignment. And the reason he was able to do that was because we weren't actually supposed to have that assignment anyway. We had made a deal with him, like, we were going to do that assignment instead of something else. So I don't really remember the logistics of it all, but we, like, I don't know, replaced that assignment with something else, or it was taken away. I don't remember. Like, in the class, there's an entirety of 510 points you can get for this one assignment, for, not this one assignment, for everything, all the assignments put together. So he just took away that 100-point assignment, and so we just have 400 and something points now that we can get. And then whatever we made on that assignment, those are extra points. So, yeah, now I have extra points from an assignment that I failed. But, yeah, he's a really good teacher, so he agreed to do that for us, which was really great since we all failed that assignment. But, yeah, that's one of the things that I had this past week that I had to get done. It was due Monday, so I don't remember if I had a video out Monday. I think I did. It might have been Sunday, though, that my last video was out. But yeah, I had to take a few days off this week to work on that and to work on some of my other assignments that I've got coming up, some exams that I have coming up. Yeah, but life lessons. Sometimes you fail assignments, and usually that happens when you're in college, and that's okay. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I was one of those people that, like, made straight A's in high school, and, like, college was definitely a wake-up call because I realized I'm just about as smart as everybody else. I am not as smart as I once thought I was. But, yeah, I mean, it's a wake-up call sometimes. And, I mean, it's helpful to have parents like I do who are like, it's okay, you know, don't stress out about it. You know, because it's easy to really get freaked out and stressed out over doing bad on an assignment. When, I mean, what is it people like to say? C's get degrees. So that's something I've really had to learn. But yeah, I spent the whole last part of this video not talking about the video. Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, it was pretty much the same thing. Lots of colors, lots of clutter. Yeah, we're in the bedroom now. That little hallway I really like, and I really liked using that sunrise paint from the toddler update. I think I called it a stuff pack earlier. I meant the update. Yeah, I really love using that, like, ombre wallpaper, and I wish I could use it more, but I don't know, I like to tone down, like, the colors in a lot of my builds, and maybe I should explore doing some more colorful builds like this one, because this was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it not being super, super matchy, so yeah. And there's another movie hangout stuff pack item, was that wardrobe. I did use a lot of that. So now we're just in the screenshots, and like I said, a lot of this build was the exterior and making sure that it looked like Alice in Wonderland. It looks really, you know, like Wonderland because the outside is supposed to be like you're in Wonderland. So that was really my main focus of the build. And then on the interior here, you probably noticed I did have that little hole in the wall, and I just thought it just added some more realism to the build. Made it look like it was a little bit older. You know, maybe somebody kicked a hole in the wall and they just had to board it up. They hadn't quite gotten around to fixing it completely. You know, just added a little touch of something different there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I really liked doing it. I love doing Disney-inspired builds, and I'll probably keep doing them. But, you know, if you have any suggestions, please don't forget to leave them down below. I will, of course, take them into consideration. And, like, I love getting suggestions from people to do builds. This was actually, maybe this one was my idea, but one of my friends suggests a lot of Disney builds to me. So some of those, I will credit her later on whenever those come up. But thank you once again for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I will talk to you guys soon.